Oh, here comes Mateos Lip.
Hey, buddy.
You're an hour late.
Welcome. Hello. 1 hour late, but who cares, right?
Was there a time change somewhere?
Well said.
Mateos Lip thought the play started at 1 p.m.
Oh, that's fair. Every other day started at 1, right?
Never.
Pretty embarrassing. But it'll happen. We're just glad he's okay.
Think of all the bad beats he missed.
Yeah.
He's coming back to a 13 big blind stack. He's going to get to play out the end of this level. Got 30 minutes on the clock until the blinds go up.
Oh, if he was somehow all in on this hand and lost, it would be the shortest appearance we've ever seen.
I know it's probably...
Oh, no.
Yeah. All in, effective all in from the cutoff. You know, I will say this is such a rare thing to happen, especially on the feature table. But it would have been nice to see all of his cards, you know?
Yeah,
so we could just giggle about,
Totally.
like, oh my God, he had ace king here. Oh my God.
That's what you do in a home game. You always look at the player's cards
Yeah,
after
yeah.
the hand. Yell to the
Oh
bathroom.
no, and Barsekian does have
Oh, boy.
one of the worst hands you're going to be prepared to call this shove with. Sort of ace-10 off would be maybe the worst. So is going to put it in, recognizing that Lip's going to have hands like the king-queen, some worse, you know, suited aces and the like.
Hold on. Lip can still fold the flop.
Oh, he did just call. So Lip's just like, oh my God, really? Am I going to become a meme?
Oh, jeez.
Lot of hope. Lot of hope.
Wow.
One, all in.
All in and call.
Oh, no. Don't do it to him.
I mean,
Don't do it to him.
I usually root for the short stacks, but it's just too funny if he busts.
Yes.
So I'm like, really hope he loses. It's just too good a story. I'm sorry, Lip, but you're a part of a larger narrative now. We need this.
He's keeping a stiff upper him.
Turn 10.
13 outs. That's a lot of outs.
It's a lot.
Could
It's
be-
exciting.
Could be too many.
I think it's enough. I think it's just enough.
He seems like such
He's
a
gonna
nice
catch.
chap,
He's
too.
gonna catch one.
He's got one of those cute little hats my dad wears.
It's gonna be one of those stories where he runs it up here.
It's not
That's
a good card.
not good.
Well, it was a post-flop flip, but now Barsekian is a 70% favorite, and Lip is going to need a 9, queen, king, or ace on the river. It's a
Oh,
king!
All right.
Come on, Lippy.
Thank you very much, Miss Lippy.
1 hour late. Now it was good timing.
Good timing, yeah.
Captain.
Captain Caberman.
10,000.
Raises in first position to 10,000.
This is always one of those weird spots. It feels too tight to fold. You know you're opening yourself up to getting squeezed behind. You know, if you had maybe a bit less chips, you'd fold. If you had a lot less chips, maybe you'd shove.
It feels bad when you. It feels like a bad move when you call there and then get squeezed and then move all in anyway. Is it bad?
It's not bad. It's just not great because you should have a pretty strong range flatting here. Like you're flatting against an under the gun open. You can have some traps. So the squeezes shouldn't be that light in the later positions, and that's also why it's maybe not that bad to just call and does technically outflop Caberman. But you can see the passivity from Byron is because of this perceived strong range, right? It's not just the traps that you're worried about, but it's about those, you know, your king-queen suiteds, your king-jack suiteds, even your ace-queen offs that don't necessarily want to be 3-betting. Sure, you are going to be able to fold out the portion of the range like this, the 7s and the 8s and the 9s. But you can always just get there. A lot of equity on this flop.
And there's an ace on the flop. because there's an ace on the desk. And there's an ace on the river, it's Barry Greenstein. This is an ace on the turn.
Thank you for that. Lest we forget.
7, 6.
And you might be wondering why, now that I've turned this ace, why am I checking here? Well, you know, it still goes back to what we perceive Lip's range to be. If it's going to be these 7s through 9s and then all those other technically stronger hands like ace-jack, you know, ace-queen probably wouldn't have checked back the flop, but Byron is kind of just setting a bit of a trap and also not building up a pot when he could be behind. And it appears, induced a bet from Lip. Because Lip's also going to be aware of that sort of perceived range. You know, when he's up against 2 10s or 2 9s, he wants to fold those hands out at this stage. He knows he can't win with these 7s without bluffing. You know, maybe my opponent has something like Jack 9 suited here, Jack 10,
7. Call.
that I can either get a fold here or maybe by the river. So let's see if Lip goes for it on the river. Oh, Daddy-o! What's it always coming, James?
7!
Oh my goodness. I was about to say, what if you just drill the 7 here? I always feel like I'm the dude with ace 10 here, and just the 7 comes out of nowhere. Oh, man.
Matthias
I didn't
Lip.
think this would happen to Byron Caverman.
Matthias Lip showed up at exactly the right time.
I mean, we don't know, right? Maybe he would have run like this in every single hand, and he'd be
Okay, so a
have
couple
500,000 chips right now.
couple things I want to say here, right?
Yeah.
You probably don't want to get too greedy because you think Byron's going to have a lot of ace-x suited type hands as well that, you know, might not call to a big bet. I think the most interesting dynamic of this hand right now is the fact that Byron Caverman, just 2 days ago, was facing a very big bet on the river with an ace on a similar-ish board and folded and was bluffed. And that's, of course, in the 100K final table against Juan Pardo.
1. All in.
And
He did go for it all.
Yeah, he just went a little greedy for my taste. You know, probably hoping he's up against that ace-jack portion of the range. You know, Lip, I think, is also aware that this line doesn't make a ton of sense. So maybe this is how
118.
Byron is just going to find a hero call.
I think if he can make that fold against a super high roller, he's probably more likely to fold
Yes, I agree.
against a Lip.
5 seconds.
And you can see how effective this appears to be. And I just wonder if Lip would have been able to do it if the river wasn't a 7.
No.
But that's the inherent problem, right? And what makes someone like Juan Pardo the other day so good is that, you know, can do it as a bluff. But does Byron think this guy's not going to just take pocket 8s and 1.6x shove on the river?
5 seconds.
I got the clock. Thanks.
No stranger to using time banks.
He's like,
Byron Caverman.
Don't talk to me. I got it.
How does my opponent play King 10? Would he really be checking back this flop? Could have ace-jack, but I also have an ace. So it makes it a little less likely.
Are they playing a lot of King 10s at all? Even
Some suited King 10s might
Yeah.
flat pre-flop. But yeah, you're right, James. Joe, it's a bit of a loose call pre at the King 10 suited.
I mean, we talk all the time about what a narrow range someone's repping. And this is one of those times where they have one of the few hands
Well,
that
look
can
at
do
the
this.
look at the problem for Byron is it's difficult to put him on a value hand, right?
Right, that's what I mean.
I mean, if he has, you know, if Lip flatted pocket queens or pocket jacks or pocket aces pre-flop, wouldn't he be betting those in the flop? Maybe it could get tricky. If he had 2 jacks or 2 queens, maybe he checks back the flop. But does he?
I notice he's not looking at Lip at all. Just trying to piece this hand together. There we go.
Yeah, good.
Now he looks at
fold.
Lip. Wants to get a reaction.
I'm telling you, the fact that he had a similar spot a few days ago and then didn't deviate from what he knew was the correct answer is an example of why he's so good, Byron.
7-6 of diamonds for Mateos Lip.
Wow, and
One.
he's
red,
gonna go for it.
10,000.
I don't like to see Mateos limp there.
3.
And it is Mateos in the big blind.
Mateos, 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 Mateos.
Ace deuce of clubs.
And genuine consideration here between shove or call.
5 calls.
I think you have some fold equity. When you get called, you're still going to be live with something like ace deuce suited.
Brutal.
Okay. Top pair versus bottom pair.
You should be able to stop the count when your card's in the window.
Yeah, like a mystery cash game, like
Window, boom, stop it right there. No more.
That's cool. Yeah,
One card flop.
I'm gonna propose that for the next mystery cash challenge. The stop the count ability.
Continuation bet of 8,000 from Lip. Mateos calls.
And you can see how shifty things get here when you raise off such a small stack into the best player in the world.
5 checks.
Mateos checks a second time. Lip might want to slow down.
Yeah, let's get to showdown here, buddy.
As everyone gets up for break. Oh, I'm no lip reader, but I think he might be going for it.
5 seconds.
It's firing again.
And
One bets 21,000.
yeah, a third of his stack.
So it's half pot bet, and he's left himself 7 bigs behind.
Oh yeah, it was a half pot bet, right? Wow. And Mateos isn't loving life here. I mean,
No.
because Lip should have a strong range at the cutoff, also because it's into his big blind, but Mateo doesn't give a...
5 calls.
Well, 85,000 in the middle, and Lip's got 39K behind. The river is a 6. He makes 2 pair.
Oh.
It's worked out perfectly for him.
5 checks.
Mateos checks. Lip can get the rest in and maybe even get called.
I think there's a chance he checks back. The spades have come in, which are going to play this all the way as a call. You know, Queen 10 is still in the range. Do I think I'm always getting called by every ace rag? My opponent can still have ace 7.
5 seconds.
My opponent can have king jack. Don't get me wrong. 50% pot bet. You do want to get the rest of the money in against the ace and maybe a heroed like king 10 or something. But yeah, there's just not that many. If you don't think he's going to call you with an ace every time, maybe it is okay to be a little tight here.
I did not know you could semi-bluff 2 pair on 2 streets.
Pardon?
Like if he did this with a flush draw, it'd be called semi-bluffing. It'd be like bet, bet, get there, but he did it with 1 pair and still got there. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah, oh, I see what you're saying, yeah. But it's a great price for Mateos, and if you didn't believe him before...
9,000.
Don't look at me like that.
If Mateos calls, Lip gets the full double up.
And yeah, I mean, I'm loving this. I'm loving the shove. I'm just saying it's not the easiest one to make. You know, put yourself in his shoes.
Mateos lets it go.
He's too good.
Yeah.
But Lip wins a pretty decent pot, ending the session with around 25 bigs, although, as previously highlighted, that is the last hand of the level. The blinds are going up. 3K, 6K. That means Lip will have 20 bigs. Adrian Mateos still the table chip leader. He'll have around 75 bigs. Well, this is interesting. Barseghyan has opened with ace-6 of diamonds. Mateos has flatted with jack-10 of diamonds. And now, gold power pass winner, Kevin Korsakis, has 3-bet from the button with ace-king of strawberries. Original razor folds. Mateos not folding. Going to play this 3-bet pot out of position without the betting lead. And with the worst hand for now. There are 2 diamonds out there, though.
Oh, dear.
And we have ourselves a post-flop flip.
Yep, pretty darn close. Mateos always seems to be on the right side of these ones, James. You know, when I like defend the correct range versus 3-bets, just bricks city.
Mateos check shoves the flop. Korsakis with 2 overs to the board, a wheel draw, backdoor flush draw, but it is all in to call.
This is so rough. Mateos is definitely going to have pairs here as well as draws like this. And as we can see, even if you make the right call here with ace-king, you're still not loving it. 2 live cards and diamonds is absolutely monstrous.
I mean, strictly speaking, he is ahead right now. And I guess if you read this as a flush draw and think, I could have the best hand with ace high, I could call, but it's for everything.
Yep, you're going to be up against some draws here, but you just hate all the draws anyway. Just such a bad scene.
Playing time bank cards. Extending that shot clock, and he makes the call!
All right, well, it is the right call, guys. He does have an edge.
Korsakis, the gold pass winner, is all in and at risk, is ahead right now, but Mateos has 12 outs. Diamonds, jacks, and 10s all working for him.
That's right, 12 times 4 is the approximation when you're trying to figure out how many outs to equity you have. And it's approximately the 46% that we see here.
A lot of cards for Korsakis to fade.
Stand-up equity.
Turn card is a 3, pairing the board.
That helps a lot for the ace-king.
Korsakis now better than a 2-to-1 favorite, but still has to fade 12 cards.
Problem is, Mateos never misses.
The river is another 3. He has the power.
That is absolutely monstrous. What a hold for Korsakis.
The gold power pass winner doubles up through one of the best in the world, a former Monte Carlo champion. And Korsakis is now going to have the table chip lead, close to 100 big blinds.
Wow, at this stage in the tournament, that's just huge. What a big spot. You know, I like the call. Like I said, it's a tough one to make. You will literally just be up against some pairs, some actual made hands. In some cases, though, James, when they have the flush draw there, it would be with the ace, in which case your equity becomes much better because they don't have 2 live cards. So You can understand the decision making here, does make the right call. And don't forget, that's a gold pass winner, James. This is the Cinderella story that we're looking for this EPT. Would love to see one of our gold pass winners running deep and riding the path all the way to victory. And number 55 now, guys. A few minutes left on this level.
By the way, before the Mystery Cash Challenge debuts on YouTube, people are going to get to see the big game on tour filmed in Vegas at the end of last year really soon. And I'm talking just days.
Oh,
by the
wow.
way. Just days.
Yeah.
Hopefully, more information later in the week.
Yeah, so keep it tuned here, guys, if you want to hear more about that. Obviously, we're bringing you coverage every day this week until Saturday. So if you enjoy this kind of thing, there's a lot of it coming your way. And also, don't forget, guys, Scoop coming up as well. I'll be doing loads of Scoop streams on the PokerStars Twitch channel. If you guys like the cards up action from the best in the world, it's going to be a good place to watch it.
I could take it or leave it. I'm kidding.
James will also be providing some of that action towards the end of the month as well, as we get closer to the finale.
28.
Mateos in action against Korsakis. Jack high versus Queen high. Korsakis with the advantage right now. Again, those of you asking and commenting on Wolfgang Poker, he will be on the main stage. He will be on New Feature Table for the next session of play.
Wow.
What is happening? Korsakis raises with Queen high. Shows the bluff, and Mateos smirks. It's like, dude, you had the best hand.
Yeah, it's funny spot there.
I'll raise here with
Won't be watching.
a hand that he might
No, he
want
would
to
never
go all
watch
in
that
with.
movie. Of course
I
not.
think this is, you know, we'd rather be up against the cutoff or the hijack,
And someone with more than 20 blinds.
but it's just go time. Yeah, this makes sense. This makes sense.
Just gotta hope it's wide open.
110, I think. Or maybe with the blind.
You're probably gonna have to call here, but you're not fist pumping it. I mean, this should be a pretty strong range.
You have pocket 7
We
again?
both need the money for the watches.
If you had pocket 7, you already paid.
I don't have pocket, I have worse.
113,000.
113.
All right, he's feeling pretty confident now.
Well, yeah. If you don't think, sort of cut you off there, Sam, but if you don't think your opponent's gonna shove ace-10 here, it's a bit difficult to call, right? I mean, it's super high roll. You're probably fist pumping it off, but
I mean,
the
I
rules
think
do change.
he's going to work it out, I think, Wolfgang. Quite understandably, he knows something of this player as well, by the way.
Yeah.
It's probably like you've got a feeling
Told me I will
that
tell you.
this isn't very good, but the suited variety, the pocket pairs, and the occasional king. I mean, we saw someone shove king queen off just a moment ago.
You are folding ace-10.
I think he might fold.
Wow. Wow. That's really interesting. Obviously, Wolfgang feels it's close, and he's going to have a much stronger sense for this guy than we are. And, you know, he's entitled to half this pot. Will he be able to make the call? So it's an inflection point for him. I mean, it's giving up.
Wolfgang has made the call.
Good man.
And everyone, after this, I think they're both going to be kind of relieved to see. It's, you know, like some of those calls you sometimes make with ace-king where you're like, if they end up showing me ace-king, I'm happy as well. I'm happy sometimes.
113, right?
Wolfgang with slightly more equity here, the suited cards. 4 times as much equity.
Yeah, wow.
And No diamonds on the flop, but the spades actually now are a factor.
I mean, that is unexpected. 38% equity.
That's so much equity.
Wow. I mean, this is
Pray for blood.
Has anyone folded a spade at all?
2 big pulls here.
I think
for
not.
El Raiz. Brick on the turn, and a smile there. An intake of breath.
I don't want to be greedy, but 5 of spades.
Come on. Poker guy.
We will split.
It's not like this.
Don't worry.
You just need a red card.
Don't worry, he says to Wolfgang. Do not worry.
I'll raise the player at risk. Wolfgang would be decimated, however. Black, but safe.
Feels like a win now.
This hand ends in a chop, and you know what they say.
Have any extra-
Everyone loves a chop pot.
Holy shit, quite literally. You feel more of a winner than he does now. So technically you know what? I thought I screwed myself when I confidently said free roll.
I love how much Sam's
Famous
bought in
Nelson.
now. You know, he does the song with us now.
Yeah. And what a remarkable hand.
How much have I
Considering it just ended up with them chopping up the big blind.
Yes, you've got
A
no
big
watch.
blind each.
Hey, it matters, right? It all matters.
A big hoopla pre-flop as Wolfgang deciding to make the call with ace-jack suited, and then a big sweat on the flop.
Call that a field rip.
Field ripper.
Field rip. Fatahi's turn with 7s now. Karakusis getting a little OOL with 8-5 suited in the hijack.
I love it.
And Mustafa Kanat with yet another primo spot to squeeze it in. Ruh-roh.
Uh-oh.
Stop the clock. Hassani with ace-king suited also all in. Has Kanat covered. Has Fatahi covered. Fatahi's out.
I can't love this.
Karakusis
Just the
folds.
cold.
Yeah.
Oh, rough.
Domination situation. Kanat in trouble.
I had 7. Call? Wait, he's saying yes.
It's been a while since we've seen a brutal suck out, though. I feel like Mustafa Kanat could be due. Maria, how do you win in this spot?
Correct answer will be on the river.
Well, listen, why don't we just ask for a chop? Then we get to sing the song. Everybody takes their chips back. Nobody really gets hurt. Or you could go running diamonds.
There you go.
8 of diamonds?
Not a huge chop spot anymore.
Is this further evidence that you should just fold ace-queen pre-flop like we were talking about yesterday?
It was a slightly different situation. But in a word, I don't know. Let's see if this river's a diamond or not. Kanat has 11 outs to survive. Bingo.
Wow.
Mustafa is best.
Wow.
Ace high flush.
Da, blood. Da.
Double me up.
Dawaj.
He gets more and more Italian every day.
337.
And it's queen. A couple of Zarinas for Vlad Trinovsky and Fatahi with the 2 7s. Calls. Anybody want to squeeze? Anybody want to get out of line?
Ooh.
There's a hand that you can maybe get involved and make the squeeze even more enticing.
Yeah, Fatahi's going to be the shortest stack of the 3 so far. 42 big blinds, but the other 2 absolutely chunks. Jack 10 suited does call in the cutoff.
Mustafa, ace 7 of diamonds.
Oh, dear.
Seems interested.
Ooh, just a call. Wow-wee. A lot of passive money out there.
Odin.
There, oh my goodness.
Oh, my days.
I was expecting somebody to fake squeeze. Hard to do it with this stack. This is a legit shove for value. And Troyanovsky's obviously asking for a count. Cannot fold for this amount.
Yeah, and you'd imagine he'd go for an ISO as well, just doesn't want to let anybody else behind him come in.
96,000.
And Troyanovsky
We raised to 180,000.
does attempt to isolate. And it probably should clear the rest of this field. Later.
One buck.
And Troyanovsky with a wry smile, knowing he's very likely to chalk off 10 big blinds here.
Black sevens.
Here's the good
Yeah, it
news.
could have
You're-
been a lot worse.
Yeah.
I had a seven. Seven of diamonds.
The good news is you're going to get as much change back as your stand to lose here, so it's like breaking even.
Ladies are coming. Ladies love blood.
Hassani in a very good spot to double up. Did just suffer a bad beat. Hopefully it's not 2 in a row. 4 deuce deuce, 2 hearts. All good for Hassani.
It was 10 years ago. Too much ladies.
Another 4. Just fine for Hassani. Just needs to fade the queen. River. Not a lady. Hassani right back in it. Now up to 27 big blinds again.
The Learning Safe House has analysis for that last hand.
20%
Bad value with aces.
Life is short.
Is it normal to need 2 more days to reach the final table from 50? Absolutely. This plays with 90-minute levels. Maybe you lose a couple of players every level.
Wow.
This is not going to conclude until Saturday, guys.
Poker's kind of like a half-life.
26. Yeah. You copy me.
The fewer players there are left, the slower it disintegrates.
Yes. It's an interesting analogy.
Should open like a pro. 2x, 24 exactly.
Shauskin with the goods this time, opening with ace, king of diamonds. Bigot defending the big blind with 6-5 off.
No, he had eights. He had aces.
No, against him.
Flop is ace, 6-5. Top pair against 2 pair.
Oh, buckle up, buckaroos.
Big pocket. All big. Like big. Small pocket.
This is going to leave a mark.
Nice call. Nice call. Like mine.
Nice fold. I folded.
You don't have to speak to him just because we are on TV table. No one cares. Nobody judge you. Okay. He's Malacca.
Shauskin continues for 20,000. Bigot has just check raised him.
I have no chance to win.
Not going crazy yet.
I wish you all the best to win.
200K in the middle. The effective stack, 240K behind.
4 on the turn does not change anything. Bigot better than a 4-1 favorite.
You are.
You are not.
I'm naughty boy. I'm a good guy.
He is a naughty boy. Schauskin gonna fall for it. I'd be pretty wary here. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how you, with this stack size, get away from paying off a huge bet on the river, but let's see. This is why being out of position stinks. Pigo probably has a pretty good idea. He's up against an ace. It goes for the trap.
Schauskin shoves on Bigot, who snap calls and gets the full double up.
Snapped. Right in the bear trap.
Great hand for Fabrice Bigot, who's now going to have more than 50 big blinds. He's an above average stack. Matan Schauskin drops down to 1.7 million.
We're here.
To me, that's the sweetest feeling in all of poker. It's just laying the trap and just letting them walk right into it. Bang, full double. Benjamin, all in.
161.
You do not want to call with King Jack. Uh-oh.
So
He knows what he had to do there with the ace-7 of clubs.
yeah.
What is it?
Classico.
And I've seen Pollock get this deep so many times and deeper than this so many times. Perennially a top 100 finisher.
Pollock does have live cards. And there's a jack and a king. Top two, however, 2 clubs. I didn't realize how crunchy that board was.
Just pair the board on the turn.
Going dead on the turn. That's good news.
Oh, now a king or a jack required. Troinovsky with the nut flush. Pollock needs to boat up. And no king or jack on the river, so Benjamin Pollock eliminated in 56th place, taking us down to 55 players.